Kingdom Hearts in itself is a crossover between Disney and Square Enix. One of the most exciting parts of Kingdom Hearts is the many worlds that we get to explore and seeing our favorite characters interact with one another. Turning Red is a modern movie that you may have seen on Disney Plus, and it is such a fantastic movie, one of my latest obsessions of late, and I've watched it so many times already, and I really think that it would be a great idea to add it to the ever-expanding Kingdom Hearts universe as a world. There's just so many questions to ask regarding what a Turning Red world would be like. Questions like, what would we do? Who would go? Who would we fight? How would it feel? There's a lot of discussion that can be held regarding revolving a Turning Red world, and I believe that it can be an amazing idea. This video will be Kingdom Hearts Crossing Turning Red. And as a warning, I'll recommend watching the video if you haven't, as there will be spoilers in this video with the plot of the movie, which if you haven't watched, I recommend it greatly. It's on Disney Plus. But without further ado, let's dive in. When you first think of a new world to add, first you would think of what the world would be like, and what would be the point of adding the world in the game. With characters like Sora, especially, he is always around to try and solve the problems of the respective world. If Sora was in the world of Turning Red, he would surely be a person that is a part of Mei's friend group, and he'd fit in absolutely perfectly with his optimistic and cheerful personality. I could also see him helping Mei in her times of need, especially as she is ashamed of her ability to shapeshift into a red panda. He would be the type of person to cheer her up in these times of need, just like the group does so in the movie. He's always the type of guy willing to help in any case and give advice, despite it always not proving effective, with multiple examples of this happening in the series. I think that these types of interactions and engagements with these characters is what really makes Kingdom Hearts so special, as a lot of the interactions you see fit perfectly and are great showcases of what the series is really about. However, for storylines, Disney worlds sometimes go for different things. Sometimes you'll often see Disney worlds use the plot of the movie and add some Kingdom Hearts magic to the mix of the movie's plot. However, you may also find worlds that take place after the plot of the movie with a brand new storyline to make. For this video, however, I will use the plot of the movie as a storyline, as I think it is a really good story to tell in Kingdom Hearts and reaching brand new people. But feel free to comment your own story ideas in the comments down below. Starting off, we would have Sora, Donald, and Goofy reach the world and exploring around to make sure everything is fine there, and they find Mei. There can be multiple ways that they can meet Mei. They can meet Mei by seeing her and she'd introduce herself and her friends to them, as she is quite the extrovert. Alternatively, they can meet Mei by seeing her on the way to school, and on her way, she starts to get chased by Heartless, and now they have the first problem that they must solve. Sora would have an amazing dynamic going on with Mei, with both being easy to be friends with, and both of them being passionate and cheerful people about everything they do. So they'd both instantly click and become friends really fast. I can also see Sora going on shenanigans with her group around the city, doing a bunch of antics with the group as well, and stopping any Heartless that threaten the city, as it is one of his duties. Personally, I don't see the movie being adapted into the Kingdom Hearts universe at the moment, as I'm sure that the Disney worlds for the next Kingdom Hearts game have been chosen a long time ago. But I'd like to bring this idea to the table. I personally see movies like Moana, Frozen 2, and Inside Out to be candidates highly likely to make it into the next game. But beyond that, I do think that movies like Encanto, Raya and the Last Dragon, and Turning Red will be worlds highly possible in Kingdom Hearts. There is also the looming question of, if Sora is in Quadranum without his powers, how he come to the Turning Red world. Well, he is indeed in a situation at the moment of the story where coming to the world wouldn't be possible, but we can't forget that we have a multitude of characters that returned in Kingdom Hearts 3. We have Terra, who the group would clearly simp for him. That'd be hilarious, but you already know he'd be doing his own thing. We have Roxas and Xion, who can both go to this world and recon like the old times and days, and just have good chats like they used to have. And we have a character that I think is the most likely to go to this world. Not just because of her hair color, but due to her training journey that will be told in some form. Kairi. I think that Kairi would be another good character to bring in the world of Turning Red. Personally, I think that Kairi would need to be approached by Mei and her friends as if she is the new girl in town. The reason why I say this is that Kairi is easy to be friends with and can definitely be sociable. However, I think that Kairi's focus early on in the world will be less on making new friends and more on training to become stronger and help save Sora. I can see Mei and her friends interacting with Kairi and Aqua becoming friends with them, and Aqua informs Kairi that she will want to make as many friends as possible while still staying true to her training. I can see the friendship with Kairi and Mei soon deepening as Kairi would be able to relate to Mei's situation to an extent. Kairi is a beginner in the whole Keyblade and fighting darkness thing, and I feel like she could be very self-conscious and feel like she's not good enough of a fighter. But I think that Kairi and Mei will really become closer friends because of this connection. And I can see a parallel that both of these characters do their part and try their best regardless, which is another similarity that may bring both of them even closer. I also think that Mei's panda form will be accepted by Kairi frame 1, and she'd love Mei the way she is, and she'd want her to never change herself for anyone. So yes, I think that Kairi and Mei would have a very interesting dynamic, and Turning Red would be a great world for Kairi to visit. Going back to storylines, I'd like to discuss why would the Wielders potentially go to this world, as I highly doubt they'd come here for no reason. Here's my vision on how a potential storyline for a Turning Red world in Kingdom Hearts would be. For a storyline, I think that setting it in the time of the original movie would be the ideal way to go for it, as it shows the growth of Mei's character so much better and tells a wonderful message about generational trauma. It could start off with Mei before turning into her red panda form, so Kairi would be able to have context of who she was before the transformation. Kairi meeting Mei and becoming friends with her sooner allows for more emotional scenes, such as Kairi accepting Mei for who she is and giving her hugs like Mei's friends did in the movie. It allows for a bigger impact that will show Kairi's character more than she's been shown before, and it will be a great utilization of her character. Moments like these will certainly make Kairi a character that more fans start to see how great she really is, and I'm all for it personally. I could see us helping Mei out with her life, and Kairi giving advice. Personally, I think that Kairi would be one of the characters similar to Sora, that she'll be capable of giving good advice, and I really see Mei and Kairi having a sisterly bond, and they'll be fantastic friends. One thing, however, that is in the lore of the plot of Turning Red is that the panda contains a terrible darkness. Now, it's clear that the darkness is an emotional form of darkness, as you see it multiple times in the movie where Mei will lash out at others while she is in her panda form. I think that the darkness aspect of the red panda could be something that can be more expanded on in a potential Turning Red world, as we can have Sora and Mei's friends calm her down. And I think moments like that will be incredible as well. Now, another thing to take in terms of story is Mei being a potential Princess of Heart. Now, personally, I don't really see Mei being one of the new 7 hearts, as Kingdom Hearts 3 released in 2019, and it introduced a few of the new 7 hearts. I know that we have a few slots left, but I think that the new 7 hearts should have been chosen a while before, since 3 launched. And personally, I think that the new 7 hearts could potentially be Merida, Moana, Kita, and others. I also don't think that Mei being a Princess of Heart would fit with her character that much. So personally, compared to the other Princesses of Heart, I feel like that she is not as likely to make it as one. But with Mei, she has her flaws, and that is one of the main points of the movie, that no one will be perfect, and that she's fine in the way she is, and shouldn't be pressured to be perfect. Personally, I want this world for the interactions like I've said earlier. Interactions like Sora or Kairi telling Mei that she's perfect the way she is, and interactions like Kairi seeing how different friends may interact, as the type of friend group Mei has is unlike any she's ever seen. I also think that for a boss we'll fight against, would be a heartless, giant red panda. I don't think that we'll fight Mei's mom in her giant panda form, personally for the reason that it's literally Mei's mom. I think that a giant red panda designed heartless or something of the sort will be a perfect boss for the world. I think that when the giant heartless comes, that Sora or Kairi will be fighting against it and telling Mei and the others to deal with her mother who is raging throughout the city. To conclude the world, after the boss, I think that adding Kairi in the scene where Mei is confronting her mom in the bamboo forest area in the spirit world will be a fantastic way to end off the story. Before we leave the world, we will be saying our goodbyes to Mei and her friends that we've had fun with helping and hanging out with. The world will truly end on Mei and her friends using the temple as a fundraiser to help repair the Sky Dome, which was terribly damaged during the boss fight. After our goodbyes, we will leave and embark towards the next world. Now I know that ending off at the spirit world and saying our goodbyes near the ending of the film will be such a giant tease, but you know how Pixar also likes to make more standalone stories for Disney worlds as well. So it could have a great level of potential if we ever revisit this world again after its initial visit. And I think that'd be a cool idea to tease exploration in that area. Speaking of areas, I think it's about time to hit the final chapter of this video, which focuses on the world design that a potential Turning Red world could bring. If you didn't know, Turning Red takes place in Toronto, Ontario, in Canada. Now, I've heard what others may think about a Turning Red world, and surprisingly there are thoughts about it being in Toronto, which is a location in the real world, and many think that it wouldn't be that good. With that take personally, I'll have to strongly hard disagree, as we've been in Disney World set in real locations in Kingdom Hearts before, as we've had the Land of Dragons, which is the world for Mulan, set in China, and Neverland, based in the Peter Pan movie, also features London as a smaller part of the world, as Big Ben is present. Both of these worlds incorporate real areas in some way, and they ended up being great worlds, and I believe that Turning Red can have a great world too. First off, I think that we'll have access to most of the city area, and the city is a large one from the looks of it, and we'll obviously be fighting off Heartless around the city for sure. And I can also be the temple being a place of interest as well, since it's one of Mei's duties to clean the temple, so I imagine we'd be there a few times. Sometimes in the movie there are intruders on property that are really just kids that you see Mei and her mom chase off with their broom. But imagine Heartless being drawn to the temple due to the certain dark secret that may lurk there. There's quite a bit of lore in Mei's family that temple can drop while we're in the world as well, which could be interesting to see in Kingdom Hearts. I also think that it is potentially possible for the Spirit World's bamboo forest to return, but I still think that it'd be a higher chance of happening if the plot is a continuation of the movie's plot, or if we ever revisit the world again, which I'd love. But overall, the world can be really expansive and really big with how big the city it is. And I think that this could be a really fun world that not many may be requesting, but will enjoy whenever it happens, if it ever happens. A Turning Red world just so happens to be one of my most highly requested worlds for representation in the Kingdom Hearts franchise, along with worlds like Moana, Treasure Planet, Raya, and many, many more. That was quite a lot. This has been my idea of what a Turning Red world in Kingdom Hearts would be like, and I'm sure that there'd be way more ideas to add since it's just such an amazing movie. Honestly, it's in one of my top Disney movies at the moment, and I really see it staying there. It's such a fun movie, and it hit hard in multiple times. I love this movie so much that I've seen it multiple times already, like almost 3, and it's been less than a week since launch. And that's why I really want a world for this movie so badly. It's so good. All the characters are great, the aesthetics are amazing, the music is also amazing, and the plot tells a great story and definitely has left a major impact on me. Personally, the movie was very uplifting for the time, and that's why I hold it in such high regard. I honestly had no idea what I was getting into, and I really came in the movie expecting it to just be okay. But this movie was such a good and fun movie that I had no other choice but to make this video. I think that even a Disney Plus series that serves as a sequel to the movie would be amazing. Maybe focus on Mei's life as she decided to live with the panda and the potential darkness that'll come with it, as she can't fully control it, but she has some level of control, and I plan to make more videos like this in the future. If this becomes a series, then it'd be a series where I have Kingdom Hearts crossover ideas with multiple forms of media, whether it be Disney movies or other Square Enix games that I really would be interested in seeing in the series. And yeah, if you've enjoyed this video of hearing me ramble and talk about how much I want this world, then I appreciate you all who have all made it this far. This has been Mira, and if you've enjoyed the video, please be sure to like the video, and if you're interested in seeing more content, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell while you're at it, as this really supports the channel an immense amount. Also, be sure to click my links down below for other ways to keep in touch with me, as I have Discord, Twitter, and other links down below as well. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone that has made it this far in the video, and I'll see you next time.